Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An unofficial association of people or groups. They were an angry lot. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. They drew lots for it. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A lot of money. Any collection in its entirety. Your overall circumstances or condition in life, including everything that happens to you. Has a happy lot. Administer or bestow, as in small portions. A parcel of land having fixed boundaries. He bought a lot on the lake. Divide into lots, as of land, for example. Old Testament, nephew of Abraham. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah but chose to spare Lot and his family, who were told to flee without looking back at the destruction. An unofficial association of people or groups. A cord-like tissue connecting two larger parts of an anatomical structure. A stripe or stripes of contrasting color. Chromosomes exhibit characteristic bands. A group of musicians playing popular music for dancing. Attach a ring to the foot of, in order to identify. Band the geese to observe their migratory patterns. An adornment consisting of a strip of a contrasting color or material. Jewelry consisting of a circlet of precious metal, often set with jewels, worn on the finger. He noted that she wore a wedding band. A strip of material attached to the leg of a bird to identify it, as in studies of bird migration. A driving belt in machinery. A range of frequencies between two limits. A restraint put around something to hold it together. A thin flat strip of flexible material that is worn around the body or one of the limbs, especially to decorate the body. A thin flat strip or loop of flexible material that goes around or over something else, typically to hold it together or as a decoration. Bind or tie together, as with a band. Instrumentalists not including string players. An unofficial association of people or groups. A road junction at which traffic streams circularly around a central island. Form or draw a circle around. Encircle the errors. Street names for flunitrazepam. Any circular or rotating mechanism. The machine punched out metal circles. Movement once around a course. A curved section or tier of seats in a hall or theater or opera house, usually the first tier above the orchestra. They had excellent seats in the dress circle. Ellipse in which the two axes are of equal length. A plane curve generated by one point moving at a constant distance from a fixed point. He calculated the circumference of the circle. Move in a circular path above someone or something. The plane circled, looking for a landing spot. Something approximating the shape of a circle. The chairs were arranged in a circle. Travel around something. Circle the globe. An unofficial association of people or groups. The smart set goes there. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Several exercises intended to be done in series. He did 4 sets of the incline bench press. Representation consisting of the scenery and other properties used to identify the location of a dramatic production. The sets were meticulously authentic. A relatively permanent inclination to react in a particular way. The set of his mind was obvious. Disappear beyond the horizon. The sun sets early these days. Decide upon or fix definitely. Put or set, seeds, seedlings, or plants, into the ground. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Set a record. Urge to attack someone. Set down according to a plan. A carefully laid table with places set for 4 people. Usually followed by to, or for, on the point of or strongly disposed. We are set to go at any time. Converted to solid form, as concrete. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Determined or decided upon as by an authority. The time set for the launching. Equip with sails or masts. Insert a nail or screw below the surface, as into a countersink. Locate. The film is set in Africa. Fixed and unmoving. With eyes set in a fixed glassy stare. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Adapt for performance in a different way. Set this poem to music. Psychology, being temporarily ready to respond in a particular way. The subject set led them to solve problems the familiar way and to overlook the simpler solution. Become gelatinous. Situated in a particular spot or position. A house set on a hilltop. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Set the rules. Evil Egyptian god with the head of a beast that has high square ears and a long snout. Brother and murderer of Osiris. Arrange attractively. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Estimate. The process of becoming hard or solid by cooling or drying or crystallization. He tested the set of the glue. Bear fruit. Set in type. My book will be typeset nicely. A group of things of the same kind that belong together and are so used. A set of books. Any electronic equipment that receives or transmits radio or TV signals. The early sets ran on storage batteries. Apply or start. Set fire to a building. A unit of play in tennis or squash. They played 2 sets of tennis after dinner. Being below the horizon. The moon is set. Fix in a border. The goldsmith set the diamond. Give a fine, sharp edge to a knife or razor. Mathematics, an abstract collection of numbers or symbols. The set of prime numbers is infinite. Put into a certain state. Cause to be in a certain state. Set the house afire. Put into a position that will restore a normal state. Set a broken bone. Set to a certain position or cause to operate correctly. Set clocks or instruments. The act of putting something in position. He gave a final set to his hat. The descent of a heavenly body below the horizon. Before the set of sun. Thread on or as if on a string. Poker, in which a player can discard cards and receive substitutes from the dealer. He played only draw and stud. Remove the entrails of. Draw a chicken. Suck in or take air. Draw a deep breath. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. Give a description of. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. The luck of the draw. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Get or derive. Pass over, across, or through. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. A golf shot that curves to the left for a right-handed golfer. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Draw a weapon. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. I draw a line here. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. The game ended in a draw. Take in, also metaphorically. Stretch back a bowstring, on an archer's bow. The archers were drawing their bows. The act of drawing or hauling something. American football. The quarterback moves back as if to pass and then hands the ball to the fullback who is running toward the line of scrimmage. Choose at random. Draw a card. Remove, a commodity, from, a supply source. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. Cause to move by pulling. Draw a wagon. Take liquid out of a container or well. A gully that is shallower than a ravine. Allow a draft. This chimney draws very well. A playing card or cards dealt or taken from the pack. He got a pair of kings in the draw. Bring or lead someone to a certain action or condition. She was drawn to despair. Cause to flow. Cause to localize at one point. Contract. Elicit responses, such as objections, criticism, applause, etc. Engage in drawing. He spent the day drawing in the garden. Flatten, stretch, or mold metal or glass, by rolling or by pulling it through a die or by stretching. Draw steel. Move or go steadily or gradually. Move or pull so as to cover or uncover something. Draw the shades. Reduce the diameter of a wire or metal rod by pulling it through a die. Draw wire. Represent by making a drawing of, as with a pencil, chalk, etc. on a surface. Require a specified depth for floating. This boat draws 70 inches. Select or take in from a given group or region. The participants in the experiment were drawn from a representative population. Steep. Pass through a strainer. Draw pulp from the fruit. Write a legal document or paper. The deed was drawn in the lawyer's office. A collection of things or persons to be handled together. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A batch of letters. All the loaves of bread baked at the same time. Batch together. Assemble or process as a batch. An agreement between parties, usually arrived at after discussion, fixing obligations of each. He rose to prominence through a series of shady deals. Wood that is easy to saw, from conifers such as pine or fir. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Succeed in doing, achieving, or producing, something, with the limited or inadequate means available. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. A deal of trouble. Direct the course of, manage or control. A particular instance of buying or selling. It was a package deal. Give out as one's portion or share. Act on verbally or in some form of artistic expression. This book deals with incest. Do business. Offer for sale as for one's livelihood. She deals in gold. Administer or bestow, as in small portions. Deal a blow to someone. The cards held in a card game by a given player at any given time. Be in charge of, act on, or dispose of. I can deal with this crew of workers. A plank of softwood, fir or pine board. Behave in a certain way towards others. He deals fairly with his employees. Distribute cards to the players in a game. Who's dealing? Give, a specific card, to a player. He dealt me the queen of spades. Sell. Deal hashish. Take action with respect to someone or something. How are we going to deal with this problem? The act of apportioning or distributing something. The captain was entrusted with the deal of provisions. The act of distributing playing cards. The deal was passed around the table clockwise. The type of treatment received, especially as the result of an agreement. He got a good deal on his car. An orderly crowd. A group of sheep or goats. Come together as in a cluster or flock. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. A church congregation guided by a pastor. A group of birds. Move as a crowd or in a group. Tourists flocked to the shrine where the statue was said to have shed tears. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. As many or as much as a hat will hold. A car that is old and unreliable. Arrange in stacks. Heap firewood around the fireplace. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. A collection of objects laid on top of each other. Bestow in large quantities. He heaped him with work. Fill to overflow. Heap the platter with potatoes. The common people generally. Separate the warriors from the mass. The property of something that is great in magnitude. He received a mass of correspondence. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Formed of separate units gathered into a mass or whole. A body of matter without definite shape. A huge ice mass. A musical setting for a mass. An ill-structured collection of similar things, objects or people. A sequence of prayers constituting the Christian Eucharistic rite. Join together into a mass or collect or form a mass. Crowds were massing outside the palace. Roman Catholic Church and Protestant churches, the celebration of the Eucharist. The property of a body that causes it to have weight in a gravitational field. Informal terms for a difficult situation. A state of confusion and disorderliness. The house was a mess. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Make a mess of or create disorder in. He messed up his room. A large, military dining room where service personnel eat or relax. A meal eaten in a mess hall by service personnel. Eat in a mess hall. Soft semi-liquid food. A mess of porridge. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A candy that is flavored with a mint oil. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. He made a mint on the stock market. Form by stamping, punching, or printing. Any member of the mint family of plants. Any north temperate plant of the genus Mentha with aromatic leaves and small mauve flowers. A plant where money is coined by authority of the government. As if new. In mint condition. The leaves of a mint plant used fresh or candied. A landmass that projects well above its surroundings, higher than a hill. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. See the rest of the winners in our huge passel of photos. Eat like a bird. Kiss lightly. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Bother persistently with trivial complaints. Eat by pecking it, like a bird. Hit lightly with a picking motion. A British imperial capacity measure, liquid or dry, equal to 2 gallons. A United States dry measure equal to 8 quarts or 537.605 cubic inches. The yarn, as in a rug or velvet or corduroy, that stands up from the weave. For uniform color and texture, tailors cut velvet with the pile running the same direction. A large sum of money, especially as pay or profit. Arrange in stacks. Fine soft dense hair, as the fine short hair of cattle or deer or the wool of sheep or the undercoat of certain dogs. A column of wood or steel or concrete that is driven into the ground to provide support for a structure. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A collection of objects laid on top of each other. Press tightly together or cram. A nuclear reactor that uses controlled nuclear fission to generate energy. Battery consisting of voltaic cells arranged in series. The earliest electric battery devised by Volta. Place or lay as if in a pile. The teacher piled work on the students until the parents protested. As much as necessary. I've had plenty, thanks. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. It must have cost plenty. A full supply. There was plenty of food for everyone. Slang for a paunch. A plumbing fixture for defecation and urination. A resistor with 3 terminals, the third being an adjustable center terminal, used to adjust voltages in radios and TV sets. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A container in which plants are cultivated. Street names for marijuana. The quantity contained in a pot. The cumulative amount involved in a game, such as poker. Metal or earthenware cooking vessel that is usually round and deep, often has a handle and lid. Plant in a pot. He potted the palm. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A foundation, usually on soft ground, consisting of an extended layer of reinforced concrete. A flat float, usually made of logs or planks, that can be used for transport or as a platform for swimmers. Make into a raft. Raft these logs. Transport on a raft. Raft wood down a river. Travel by raft in water. The ability to see, the visual faculty. The act of looking or seeing or observing. The range of vision. Out of sight of land. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Catch sight of. To perceive with the eyes. He caught sight of the king's men coming over the ridge. An instance of visual perception. The sight of his wife brought him back to reality. Anything that is seen. He was a familiar sight on the television. A range of mental vision. In his sight she could do no wrong. Take aim by looking through the sights of a gun, or other device. Move obliquely or sideways, usually in an uncontrolled manner. Turn sharply. Change direction abruptly. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A slew of journalists. The occurrence of a water flow resulting from sudden rain or melting snow. A sudden forceful flow. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A large tall chimney through which combustion gases and smoke can be evacuated. A list in which the next item to be removed is the item most recently stored, LIFO. Arrange in stacks. Stack your books up on the shelves. A storage device that handles data so that the next item to be retrieved is the item most recently stored, LIFO. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. An orderly pile. Arrange the order of so as to increase one's winning chances. Stack the deck of cards. Load or cover with stacks. Stack a truck with boxes. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. A wad of money. Compress into a wad. Wad paper into the box. Crowd or pack to capacity. A wad of something chewable as tobacco. A small mass of soft material. He used a wad of cotton to wipe the counter.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.